Unbelievable.
I like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. Peace and safety to the hopefully elect, all the Akim, scattered across the four corners, pushing his word in sincerity and in truth. As you saw on the screen, that's the volcano that's erupted over there in Hawaii. And as you can see, man, it's bringing total destruction to that island, man. And I'm going to show you through this lesson dealing with the brimstone. That is not referring to nuclear fusion, such as these guys at GMS and basically all the other One West Splinter camps, alphabet camps teach. All right, that the brimstone is referring to the volcanoes, and we brought it out and warned the people, man, and basically gave the edification on what the Lord was talking about when he referred to the brimstone, the fire and the brimstone, as the judgment that he's going to bring to usher in the new kingdom, man. All right. But like I said, these alphabet camps, they scoffed at it. All right. They said that we was bugged out. Basically that the Lord wasn't dealing with the brimstone is not dealing with volcanoes, that is dealing with nuclear destruction, nuclear fusion. And basically that was a private interpretation of the scriptures, because when you look up the word brimstone, which we're going to do in this lesson, it goes back to the word suffer, man. It means suffer. And suffer is produced by volcano, man. Okay. And without further ado, I'm gonna jump right into it. This is the book of Luke, chapter 17 and verse 28. And it says, likewise also. All right, let's look up this word likewise. As you can see, it says likewise, equally, in the same way. All right, in the same way. So in the same way also as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat and drink. They bought and sold. They planted, they built. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Now we're going to look up this word brimstone. And as you can see, it says brimstone, suffer. All right, suffer in a sense, original sense of flashing. All right, and that's what you saw on the clip, man. All right, you saw that lava. All right, which produces sulfur, and also it has if the fire don't get you, the smoke will, man. All right, you breathe in that sulfur, man, and it'll kill you, man. All right, and it set off all type of earthquakes, which the scriptures talk about the great earthquakes that's going to take place. All right, and basically that's the Lord's judgment, man. All right, like I say, these guys mainly at GMS, they scoffed at it when we brought it out. All right, we gave many precepts showing. All right, we looked up the words and showed you what this brimstone was referring to. But as you can see what's going on now in the news over there in Hawaii, man. All right, you can see it coming to pass, man. Okay, you see the destruction that that volcano is bringing, man, to that place. All right, you got thousands and thousands of people evacuating from their houses, man. All right, and basically they say it's a new eruption every hour, man. All right, is it's penetrating the grounds, cracking the floor of the earth, and that lava. All right, that sulfur is coming out of the earth, man. And like we just read here in Luke, man, the Lord said likewise, meaning in the same way that He destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, with what? Volcanic eruptions, man. All right, that suffer fire and brimstone. We're gonna show you. Let's get the next precept in Genesis chapter 19 in verse 24. It says, then the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. All right, just like you seen on the clip. All right, that fire and that brimstone which the volcano produces, man. All right, it's not referring to nuclear fusion. All right, that's a private interpretation of the scriptures. All right, so like we read in Luke, it said likewise, meaning in the same way that He destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, is the same way He's gonna bring down this current kingdom, man. All right, which is Babylon. Okay, so reading on verse 5, it said, and overthrew those cities. All right, and all the plains and all the inhabitants of the city that which grow upon the ground. All right, and you can see in the clip that I showed in the beginning of the video, you saw how that fire and that brimstone destroy all the things that grow on the ground, man. It's gonna destroy everything in its way. Okay, like I said, you had guys at GMS Atlanta scoff at the volcanoes, man. Scoff at the fact that this fire and this brimstone was dealing with volcanoes, man. All right, but now you got these guys, these same guys, doing videos saying that this is part of prophecy. All right, they're not saying that the brimstone is referring to the volcanoes to suffer, but they're saying that this eruption over there in Hawaii is biblical prophecy, which it is. All right, and I'm reading about it right now. All right, so it says, and overthrew those cities and all the plains and all the inhabitants of the city and that which grew upon the ground. Okay, and this is in the same way the Lord is going to destroy this place in this current time, man. Okay, so He's just giving you He giving you a small dose, man, right now. All right, you got Yellowstone over here in Americas. All right, which when you do your research on that, it's an active volcano, man. All right, basically Esau is waiting on this volcano Yellowstone to go off any day. Salakia. And as you can go on the page, and we did an extensive breakdown on dealing with the volcanoes, the fire, and the brimstone. All right, going all the way back to Pompeii. Okay, going all the way back to Pompeii. You got modern history. All right, even in biblical history. All right, dealing with volcanic eruptions, man. This is how the Lord brings His judgment, man. All right, this is what the brimstone is referring to. All right, so let's get the next precept in the book of Psalms 11 and 6. And it says upon the wicked. And we all know that the wicked is referring to Esau, man, Edom, all right, the so-called white man, woman, and child, all right. They're referred to as the wicked, pursuing the Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. So it says, upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire, and brimstone. All right, the same way he rained it on Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, and a horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup. All right, this shall be the portion of the wicked cup. All right, and you saw in the clip. All right, the Lord bringing that judgment upon the wicked. All right. Let's get the next precept in the book of Isaiah, chapter 34. All right, because this is a chapter that these guys like to use, saying that this is referring to nuclear destruction. And we read Luke 17, all right, when the Lord said, in likewise, meaning in the same way he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, all right, the same judgment he's going to bring in these times. All right, we read Genesis 19 and showed you how the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, he rained fire and brimstone. All right, the same fire and brimstone that he's raining on Hawaii right now, and that he's going to bring on this whole earth, man. All right, that's the judgment. But we're going to start at verse 1 and read down to 9. It says, come near, ye nations, to hear and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations. And what you saw in the clip is part of the Lord's indignation. All right. It says, and his fury upon all their armies. He have utterly destroyed them. He have delivered them to the slaughter. All right. Referring to all their armies, man. All right. Meaning the beast, man. Okay. Starting with the so-called white man and the rest of these heathen nations that's joined unto him. All right. And let's get a precept here in Ezekiel, in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38 and verse 22. And it says, and I will plead against him with pestilence. All right. That fire and that brimstone. All right. That strong tempest. All right. It says, and with blood, and I will rain upon him and upon his bands, referring to the wicked. All right. And all his armies, and upon the many people that are with him, all his heathen compadres that's joined unto the white man. All right. The so-called white man, the Edomites, and overflowing rain and great hailstones, fire and brimstone, man. All right. So this is the Lord's judgment, man. All right. And I showed you in the clip. I'm quite sure, you guys are familiar with that story. Basically, the Lord has begun bringing his judgment upon this earth, man. All right. That's the indignation of the Lord, what you seen in the clip. Okay. Let's go back to the Isaiah in verse 2. It says, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. That's those bands that the Lord was referring to in Ezekiel 38. He have utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out. Their stink shall come up out of their carcass, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as a leaf falleth off of a vine, and as a falling fig from a fig tree. For my sword, all right, and that's part of the Lord's sword, that fire and brimstone, shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, the Edomites, the wicked, the so-called white man. All right. Just like we read in Psalms 11 and 6. This is the portion of the wicked. Salakia. This is the portion of his cup. All right. Referring to the wicked. All right. Idumia. And upon the people of my curse to judgment. All right. So this fire and this brimstone is part of the Lord's judgment, man. All right. And he's bringing judgment upon this earth. Starting with this volcanic eruption in Hawaii and these earthquakes. All right. And as you saw in the clip, it's not showing any signs of stopping. All right. Verse 6, the sword of the Lord is filled with blood, and it is made fat with fatness, and the blood of lambs and goats with the fat of the kidney, and rams for the Lord has a sacrifice in Bozrah. All right. Bozrah representing the Edomites. All right. Not America. All right. He says he has a sacrifice in Bozrah, not on Bozrah. Okay. And a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Okay. On the people, man. All right. It says, for the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullock with the bulls, and the land shall be soaked with their blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. This is the point, verse 8 and 9. It said, for it is the day of the Lord's vengeance. All right, like you saw in the clip. And the year of the recompense for the controversy of Zion, the Israelites. And the screams thereof shall be turned into pitch. All right, the scream shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof become burning pitch. Let me get a precept here in Job 41, and I'm not sure what verse. So bear with me. And give you an example of the screams turning into pitch. All right. And there's many videos on YouTube showing that showing this volcano turning this brimstone, turning this their screams into pitch, man. Okay. Let's say, bear with me. I know it's in this chapter here. It's an example of what we just read in Isaiah, right here in verse 31, Job 41:31. He maketh the deep to boil like a pot. He maketh the sea like a pot of ointment. All right. So that's what those volcanoes is capable of doing, man. All right. And you can see, you can go on YouTube. You can go on YouTube and you can see that visually. So going back to Isaiah 34 and verse 9, it says, and the screams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch, like you saw in the clip, man. All right, this is the judgment, man. All right, this is part of the Lord's judgment, the ultimate judgment, man, dealing with this fire and this brimstone, man. All right, because you got volcanoes all over the earth, man. Okay, under the water. All right, this is the Lord. This is part of the Lord's sword, man, that he's going to bring the destruction with, man. Not nuclear weapons, man. Not nuclear fusion, such as GMS Atlanta would say. So this is the next precept in the book of Job. Job 18. Job 18 and 14. And it says, his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. All right, referring to the Edomites, but the king of terrors is referring to Yahweh. All right, the Most High himself. It shall dwell in his tabernacle because it is none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. All right, just like you saw in the clip. All right, that was an example or a visual of the brimstone scattering his habitation. Okay, like we read in Luke And likewise, the same way that he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah is the same way he's going to bring the destruction this time. All right. So I'm going to jump down to verse 21. It says, surely such are the dwellings of the wicked. All right. This is the portion of the wicked, man. All right. And this is the place of him that knoweth not the power. All right. And where's that place? We're going to show you where that place at. Okay. In the next precept. Revelations 19 and verse 20. This is what that place is referring to. All right. It says, and the beast, referring to the wicked, referring to Idumea, referring to Basra. All right. The Edomites, the so-called white man. So it says, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet. All right. That'll be the so-called white man and his philosophies, his religions, man. All right. That he used to deceive the world, man. Okay. It says that walked miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. All right. Those both were cast alive into a lake. All right. This is the place. All right. It says they both was cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. All right. Burning with brimstone. So this is the ultimate judgment that the Lord is going to bring, man, upon this earth, man, upon the wicked. All right. And them that worship the image of the beast, man. All right. So basically that's the point, man. I hope you brothers was edified. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.